villages. He had to stop it. And of course, whenever he shows up, ooh.
The Natal, from when become Indian? Used to be Natal, not belong to
Right on set.
Katsum Kore.
From which?
Good evening. It's 7 o'clock here in New York City. Yay. This is the Tibet Center Buddhist Meditation and Study Center, located in New York City in northern New Jersey, under the direction of Chagre Ling Rinpoche and under the sub-direction of Rato Kensa Dupton Lundup, known as Nikki Vreeland, also in English. This is our twice weekly presentation of the Buddha Dharma. Specifically, we're working on the Lamrim, and tonight we'll also have some four-line wisdom, a lot of little four-line, what do you call them? Not vignettes. I forgot the name for a four-line poem.
Stanzas?
Stanzas, maybe. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. We'll use that. Part of our attention deficit meditation training. Lavinia, you made it. Splash, splash. It's very rainy here. If there's anyone for whom you wish us to pray for, who has passed away recently, including those who have passed away in national, international tragedies, etc., place the names in the chat box now. So we'll start. All the prayers are on the Tibet Center website in the FAQ section. Scroll down to prayers, and this is not a recording. So first, prayer for the spreading of the teachings throughout the length and breadth of the West. By the force of the blessings of the non-fallacious three precious gems, and of the truth of our pure selfless wishes, may the precious Buddhist teachings flourish and spread to the expanse of all areas throughout the length and breadth of the West, for all the people living there, together with their near ones, who have engaged in the teachings and have faith and respect for them. May all conditions adverse to their practice of the pure Dharma be dispelled, and an excellent collection of favorable conditions increase like the waxing moon, and especially for those who work on methods to accomplish the flourishing and spreading of the victorious one's teachings, which are the source of benefit and happiness. May they never be oppressed by masses of interference and adverse conditions, and may this spontaneously happen just as we have hoped and wished. The Heart Sutra. Thus have I heard once. The Blessed One was dwelling in the royal domain of the Vulture Peak Mountain, together with a big gathering of great monks and great bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One entered the samadhi which examines the dharmas, called profound illumination, and at the same time noble Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva, Mahasattva, looking at the profound practice of transcendent knowledge, saw the five skandhas and their natural emptiness. Then, through the inspiration of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said to Avalokiteshvara, how should those noble ones learn who wish to follow the profound practice of transcendent knowledge? And Avalokiteshvara answered, Venerable Shariputra, whoever wishes to follow the profound practice of transcendent knowledge should look at it like this, seeing the five skandhas and their natural emptiness. Form is empty. Emptiness itself is form. Emptiness is not separate from form. Form is not separate from emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discriminating awareness, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Thus all the dharmas are empty and have no characteristics. They are unborn and unceasing. They are not impure or pure. They neither decrease nor increase. Therefore, since there is emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discriminating awareness, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no appearance, no sound, no smell, no taste, no sensation, no objects of mind, no quality of sight, no quality of hearing, no quality of smelling, no quality of tasting, no quality of sensing, no quality of thought, no quality of mind consciousness. There are no nidanas from ignorance to old age and death, nor their wearing out. There is no suffering, no cause of suffering, no ending of suffering, and no path, no wisdom, no attainment, no non-attainment. Therefore, since there is no attainment, the bodhisattvas abide by means of transcendent knowledge. And since there is no obscurity of mind, they have no fear. They transcend falsity and pass beyond the bounds of sorrow. All the Buddhas who dwell in the past, present, and future, by means of transcendent knowledge, fully and clearly awaken to unsurpassed, true, complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of transcendent knowledge, the mantra of deep insight, the unsurpassed mantra, the unequal mantra, the mantra which calms all suffering should be known as truth, for there is no deception. In transcendent knowledge, the mantra is proclaimed, Tayata Om Gate Gate Para Gate Parasam Gate Bodhisoha. O Shariputra, this is how a bodhisattva mahasattva should learn profound transcendent knowledge. Then the Blessed One arose from that samadhi and praised the bodhisattva mahasattva Avalokiteshvara, saying, Good, good, O son of noble family. Profound, transcendent knowledge should be practiced just as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, Shariputra and Avalokiteshvara, that whole gathering in the world with its gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, their hearts full of joy, praised the words of the Blessed One. The refuge in bodhicitta called generating bodhicitta. We say these verses 3 times. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. And now, as is tradition, established by Venerable Whelan, we'll say 1 round of Om Mani Padme Hum, or you could just sit silently and watch the thoughts parade across your mind. Where they come from, where they go, nobody knows, but in the future we'll know. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. I have to face this way, so let me know if any boats go floating by. 'Cause we know we're not getting out there. We'll have to go to the roof. Who knows? That would be a good idea. Congestion pricing, you gotta pay an extra $15. We're dipping into this book as they do over the years, once in a while. It's called A Tibetan Book of Everyday Wisdom, 1,000 Years of Sage Advice. And it literally is 1,000 years. It's going to take about 800 for us to finish. First was Tampa. If anybody knows anything about Tibetan Buddhism, he was the main attendant. He was a layperson of Atisha. There's a lot of miraculous stories about him appearing as a little boy and directing the people to the monastery where Atisha was, Vikramashila in Black. So he's a big deal. His real name is Domton Jalwe Jugne. Remember that, it'll be on the final. So anyway, 4 lines each, different. A lot of it's about everyday life, very relevant. As, you know, it's not deep Buddhism or anything. It's like good advice about how to conduct yourself in business, etc. in those days. There's a lot of mention of servants. There's a lot of male pronouns in those days. I don't think women existed. I don't know. Who knows? But it's very oriented that way. And these were directed towards people who may not actually know how to read or write. So small nuggets of information can turn their minds and help them. So let's see what he says to introduce. There's literally thousands of these things we can go on. And he's saying, I'll read the introduction. It's interesting. Dromton Jalwe Jungne imparted a garland of essential advice on societal values. That's what this is. As travel advice, with a very kind translator, Nakso Sudum Jalwa, who was born in Gungtang in the region of Tu. We don't care about this, but to see him off, Drum escorted Nakso 25 leagues beyond the village of Or in Nyetang and offered him a meal. Holding hands with each other, unable to bear the impending separation for a moment, they discussed heartfelt matters. That's a tradition in Tibet. Lamas will hold your hand. It's nothing gay, but it's just the way they go. But with us, with our view from the 20s, ooh, oh well. Keeps you from being bored, it's okay. The man from Gungtang said, "You are never apart from the very center of my heart. From the perspective of ordinary Tibetans, we have indeed been extremely close. Nevertheless, I have no regrets because our action together in complete accord with very good karma done well. Today, as I set out on my travels to the distant valley of Nepal, please give me a bit of travel advice so as to benefit my mind. I understand something about actions to be done for future lives, but please drive into my heart the societal values that will put me in harmony with the ordinary people I associate with in this life that can't be despised by critical people." In other words, give me good advice. Drum Jay's face lit up with a smile, and throwing back his head to toss his braided hair behind him, he said, that's the scene. Come in with this close-up now. Okay, thank you. "I am a cherished child from the lands of the north. Ooh. I've met many people in my travel to distant places. I've understood their many exchanges, so my explanations are apt." He's giving you his qualities. "I've discerned the way things are, so I'm known for perspicacity." In other words, insight, sharp insight. Perspicacity. "Whenever you travel," verse 2, this is on page 28 of this book if you want to. Yeah, you don't have to. I'll recite it all here. You have to buy it. "Whenever you travel in whatever direction, wherever you make camp or find a place to stay, whoever you seek to befriend or associate with, being considerate of others is the root of human values." You can interrupt, talk, discuss. You agree, you don't agree. This is a discussion. You know, there's no lama here. I'm like you. I work for a living. "Based on that, I'll explain ordinary goals for this life. So listen. I'll differentiate the nature of everything. So listen. I'll elucidate the instructions about pacifying gods and nagas. So listen. As for values, these are the most profound societal values. How are you going to live in accordance with the Dharma in ordinary situations? That's what this is. But some of it resonates today, a lot of it. Especially when he's telling you how to size up people's character. Know what you're doing when you take on helping someone. Minimize your frustration in exaggerating the credit due to you. Whatever you do and however you do it, let everything you do conform to the people in question. Give them what they need, not what you think they need. So you have to be sensitive. Conform to the people in question. And don't look for credit. You find that exactly. You do it and that's it. I do because then everybody will say, oh, he's a compassionate person. No. Get that thought out of your mind. It's poison. No matter how many good qualities you have, minimize your contempt and disdain for others. No matter how much you desire riches for yourself, minimize covetousness for others' wealth. You're going to have these impulses. I want this, I want that. Minimize them. Don't let them control you. You may be skilled in achieving your goals, but minimize transgressing the common laws of the land. You may have some wealth saved up, but minimize flaunting it when among others. Very practical these days. Don't tell everybody what you have or what you make. In the old days, they'd follow you. Even if everyone holds you up as an authority, minimize your prideful, egotistic thoughts. Even if you are better than everyone else, eliminate the slightest pride in your superiority. You could think about that a lot. How can you be better than everyone else? We all have Buddha nature. So this temporary thing, maybe you live in a nice house, you have a lot of money, that's this life. Bye-bye. You're back on the pile with everybody else. So what's in here is most important. This makes sense, Even if others beg you to be their spiritual teacher, and this doesn't apply to most of us, all of us, but minimize looking down on anyone, be they learned or lowly. Even if there is no one higher or more important than you, be happy to mix with those beneath you. Get rid of those lines, this and that. They're very temporary. No matter how bad another group's leader is, greet him and respond to his salutations respectfully. That's going to be tough with some of the leaders we have. Although someone may be your equal, respectfully honor him as your superior. There's no him or her in these things. This is he all along. That was the times. So His Holiness, you want to see the kind of behavior that he's talking about here in action, watch His Holiness. When he comments on like how he treats everybody regularly. I'm not big Dalai Lama, just a simple monk. And that cuts away the boundaries, puts you on the level with him. And he's very spontaneous in his laughter and everything. What? Slower, okay. Get out of here. Okay. No matter who requests the Dharma, who does this remind you of? No matter who requests the Dharma, even lepers and beggars, go among them and generously give instruction. Even if someone looks to vie with what you say, in other words, disagree, with the highest degree of perfection, expound even more. Give more explanation. Who does this remind you of? Rinpoche. We would take the poor alcoholics that slept on the floor, in the main floor of where we were on 14th Street, on 28th Street. A couple of them. One guy called him Chief, and he would take them to breakfast in the corner. This is my friend. That poor fellow died on the street, alcoholic, and died of a heart attack. I remember we used to call him Chief because he called Chungla Chief all the time. Hey, Chief. And then the next minute he's giving high initiation to someone, and he personifies this advice. It was very sweet. Yes, you remember that guy?
Yeah, they always kind of like drinking.
Always, yeah, constantly.
Yeah.
And flop on the street.
Heavy, right?
He was heavy. You got
I
him.
remember.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Huh?
What's wrong with that?
The next verse tells you what's wrong with that. Be they fat or thin. No, it doesn't say that. Someone may be worthy, this is verse 11, of being offered feasts, reverence, and so on. Ooh, big deal. But disregard that and treat everyone equitably. If something is definitely worth keeping secret, stay silent in a quiet place as if you were a mute. Tibetan Buddhism is full of advice about keeping your mouth shut. If you find it, the fifth Dalai Lama years later says the same thing. The way the two things seem to be unrelated is funny in this verse. It doesn't seem that they follow. If someone may be worthy of being offered feasts, reverence, and so on, but disregard that and treat everybody equitably. Okay, we got that. Then he says, if something is definitely worth keeping secret, stay silent in a quiet place as if you were a mute, as if you couldn't talk. There's a lot about restraining speech. We'll see. This is just a rough and general presentation. I have still more essential advice, so listen. Check whether your associates are hostile, that is, being careful. Be honest giving advice to children. That is being reliable. Makes sense? You give advice to children, right? 5 days a week? Do your daily recitations quietly. That is being dignified. Be honest when discussing faults. That is being skillful. Your own and others, mostly. Dig out your faults yourself. That is being wise. Be unconcerned about the faults of others. That is being virtuous. Again, everything in Buddhism. Go in, go in, go in. What's going on in here? Because what's in here eventually creates what's out there. That's it. That's how things happen. Our mental impulses or intention, basically. Karma is another word for intention. Creates the future world we walk around in. Or drive around in. Sincerely nurture your trust. That is most wonderful. I have still more essential advice. So listen, he knows people are nodding off. So he keeps screaming. Sharing confidences with someone as soon as you meet is a mistake. You just meet them and you're telling them all about things they shouldn't hear yet. You don't know who they are. Trusting someone you haven't checked out is a mistake. Good business advice here. If on checking you know he's dishonest, continuing to trust is a mistake. Make sense? Pursuing activities with careless people is a mistake. Seeking a long-term relationship with someone unkind is a mistake. Look out for who you marry. Taking someone without faith as a disciple is a mistake. If you're a teacher, you should look for the disciple to have at least faith. Otherwise, you shouldn't bring them into the confidence. Faith is very important. The teacher used to repeat all the time, you have to have faith, but reasonable faith. Not, I believe everything the Lama says, and that's it. Reasoned faith, after you examine. Makes sense or not? Taking someone without compassion as a guru, you got it, it's a mistake. Relying on someone with no conscience as a friend is a mistake. Giving instructions to those who don't listen is a mistake. Having important consultations with the ignorant is a mistake. So don't bother calling up your politician. Don't have a Now that you recognize these to be errors, if you don't give them up, you should know you are crazy. I have still more essential advice, so listen. No, we don't want it. Oh, shut up. Here, when you eat and drink together, everything may seem fine. But after associating for a few days, there are many flaws are evident. We have a nice time, we're at the bar, we're drinking, arms around, hey. Then after a while, you get to know the person. That happens. Sometimes not. It shouldn't be negative. Things go wrong quickly if you assign a task to anyone, friend or stranger, whom you haven't known a year. That's big. I've known Chung to operate that way. We don't know who he is. Talking about faults of those who rely on you is bad. If it draws the attention of one person, worry about it spreading. You give the gossip immediately. Someone heard that? If two people know the gossip, it becomes a source of trouble. Tibetans are very good at gossip. They're the best. There's no newspapers in those days. Everything was word of mouth. If three know it, your disrepute spreads on the wind. That's it. It's over. If you can't let it evaporate into thin air, if you can let it evaporate into thin air, you're skillful. Let it go. I see that there's a little note on this, but I don't think we have time. Let's see, 37. I'll give you the note. I marked it, so it must be important. Unless I was... Yeah. Dramtapa is saying that, and I'll read the verse again so we get... If it draws attention of one person, worry about it spreading. If two people know the gossip, it becomes a source of trouble. If three know it, your disrepute spreads on the wind. If you can let it evaporate into thin air, you are skillful. So the explanation is from Thupten Jinpa and Beth Newman. Dramtapa is saying that if you are able to resist talking about the faults of those who depend on you, your family, friends, students, and so on, and let it go or evaporate into thin air, this is wise. If, by contrast, you talk about it to one person, you will start worrying that he might tell others, and when two people have heard, it starts to cause problems. By the time three people have heard it, then it will reach everywhere as if spread by the wind. So that seems to be true. The grapevine is very active. We'll do one or two more of these, and then if you recognize your own errors of speech, you can laugh at yourself. If you attract mockery with your demands, it delights the demons. If you befriend destructive people, it's a huge mistake. I have still more essential advice, so listen. Okay, we'll listen a little more, but we have to go on to the fifth Dalai Lama, who we invited tonight, is in the green room right now. Don't be too gluttonous. Share your food with people. Don't be too stingy. Make religious offerings with your wealth. Don't change your expression too much. Meet everyone with a smile. Don't be too biased. Be even-handed to friends and enemies. Don't praise those around you too much. Hold it in your mind. That's funny. Don't be too quick to criticize others. Use skill to get them to stop. Don't make too many promises to anyone. Keep your agreements. If you're going to make a promise, you better keep it. That's very heavy. You say you're going to do this, you say you're going to give something and you don't, that's bad. Bad karma. So keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything. Just slow it. I don't. Don't assign blame indiscriminately. Figure it out together. So we'll switch now, so much time we have. Yeah, 7:28. To the fifth Dalai Lama, the 1600s, from the 1000s to the 1600s. Whoops, I shouldn't do that. It's disrespecting the book. Not the treatise on trees. A pearl garland advice by the fifth Dalai Lama, Losang Gyatso. Chungla Rinpoche was the ritual master for the fifth Dalai Lama. This we know. His name was Shedrup at the time. Otherwise, he was very quiet about what he was in the past. So when I often heard Nikki say, when Rinpoche talks about the fifth Dalai Lama, he was there. Yeah, he was. That's good. I wasn't. So it always starts with, these lamas always go to invocating a deity. Om Manjushri, Lord of Eloquence, Sarasvati, Goddess of Splendid Wish-Granting Sciences. Sarasvati is also the Lord of Speech. With Sarasvati in my throat, I will sound great, things like that. Glorious Brahma, treasure of the four aims of life, and lords of the earth, please bestow your blessings. You notice when Milarepa said any songs, before even the first two lines is thanks to his guru Marpa. Everything Marpa, Marpa, Marpa. Same thing. It's a tradition of realizing what you know you got from someone else. You didn't come out of the womb memorizing the sutras and everything, No. Maybe some people did, I don't know. So always realize it's good for your ego. It's to suppress it. Verse 2, profound and unvarying words of religious and secular ethics. There's that word from the 1600s. Profound and unvarying words of religious and secular ethics, played as a song on the strings of the lute of poetics. They're getting really poetic here. Are sweet to the ears of discerning youths who have the wisdom of their elders. However, most people do not like it. The music is like a thorn in their ears. They don't want to hear good advice. Today they want to hear advertising jingles or whatever, I don't know. Therefore, here are pearls of straightforward verses that can be understood by everyone, both high and low. It is the necklace to beautifully adorn the throat of the emperor who descends from Chinggis' lineage of heaven. That's explained, but we won't go through it now. Nowadays, in India, China, Mongolia, Tibet, and so forth, the noble nature of both ancient codes of ethics has declined. This is 500 years ago, the complaint. Well, we took it to another level here. Now when bad behavior is accepted as admirable, even if norms are explained well, it's like having 2 feet in Suda. That's where is Suda? It's a place where everyone has 1 leg. So if you're there with 2 legs, nobody listens to you. There's something wrong with you. I don't know where it came to this, who imagined this, who started this, who smoked what and had the vision, but so that's the idea. So they're saying these people, the ethics are so declined, they're not going to listen to you. You know, you got an audience of no one listening to you. Who's like a pariah. In this land of Suda, everyone has 1 leg. That's like the proverb, in the land of the blind, the one with 1 eye is the king. Something like that. Rays of sun do not penetrate a cave facing north. That is the genuine nature of things. Nevertheless, because light can shine into cavities facing other directions, I decided to produce something to clear away enveloping darkness. Nice poetic way of saying it. You have to remember, the 5th Dalai Lama, besides being a heavy mystic, his visions are very important. Rinpoche took the lung of the visions of the 5th Dalai Lama for like a month and a half back in 1989 from a Nyingma Lama. So besides that, he was an administrator. He had to get after people. He built a potala, so much so that when he died, they kept it secret. Because now that he's gone, nobody's going to continue working on it or giving money. So they kept it secret, and the next Dalai Lama, the 6th Dalai Lama, didn't get the right education. He became what they call a playboy. He was still a mystic. He still had the goods, but he was hanging out in the bars and lots of whatever, taverns. They call them. He said, I can't see the face of my Lama, but very easily the face of the tavern girls comes to my mind. Oh well.
That was the 6th.
That's the 6th Dalai Lama. There's a lot of little poems. Then he said, white dove, lend me your wings. I'm not going to go far. I'm going to go to Litang. And that was telling everyone where he's going to be reborn. In Litang, the town of Litang in Kham. And he became the 7th Dalai Lama, great poet and very big, very religious journalist. Of course, he's the Dalai Lama. He's supposed to be religious. No, he was very religious. I got the idea, I think. I don't know. Setting aside religion, progress even in ordinary affairs depends on merit. So worship the holy, give generously to the poor, and so on, to amass the great collection that is increased by good deeds, a collection of merit. That's it, in everyday life even, not just religious achievement. Because you are not clairvoyant, it is difficult to sift through all advice and counsel. Categorize the importance of situations by analyzing place, time, occasion, and whether friend, enemy, or neutral party. Doing that and then taking action is the height of manliness. This is another era. The height of womanliness today. I would say the height of sincerity, to make it more modern. But the idea is, you're not clairvoyant. Don't go on your impulses. And people do. I know, that's the right one. Yeah, 2 days later, it wasn't. So he's telling you to use logic. Very important. Neutral logic. Categorize the importance by analyzing place, time, occasion, and whether friend, enemy, or neutral. There is no end, the next verse is, there is no end to the ideas that arise in your mind. Does anybody watches their mind know this is true? There's no end to it. sit there and it's like thousands of cars going across the intersection. You didn't know so many were there, but now you're counting them. It's a lot. Same thing. But it is wise to hold them back in your throat and not speak. Don't say whatever comes in your mind. It's silly. You know? It is astute to welcome your heartfelt enemy with a feigned smile and not be belligerent immediately. He's in politics, this guy, and he knows, and he's probably, so he knows how to put on, oh, nice to see you. You've seen Tibetans like, oh, very nice to see you. Uh-oh. No good. One more will do because we have to do some lamrim. That's how we pay the rent. People may tell you things that you find disagreeable. No, that never happened. Yes. But take care to conceal your feelings so that they are not apparent. Hold it. The poker face, which they're all famous for. A shrewd man fulfills even his desire for food or wealth with the subtle power of clever speech and crafty means. He's a politician. One more. Do not bear grudges against evildoers. This is very important. It is possible they will change. It is definite that they will change. Will everyone change? Do not praise good men. It is hard to know that what they will become. It is improper to deliver an edict based on what others say, without having critical information about what has befallen them. Where are they coming from when they do this, you know? He said this, so that's what's true. You don't know where that person is coming from. That's what he's saying. The main thing is when you're alone, watch your mind. When you're with others, watch your mouth. And that's it. So we'll come back to this from time to time. Very good book. I don't know if it's an e-book. It would be great if it's an e-book because then you can pull up something while you're on the train. So who wants to lug this around? Me? No. Yeah, I don't. Lamrim, based on Yangtze Rinpoche's practicing the path. Nikki gave me a whole story of Geshe Sopa's reincarnation. He's already being trained. Geshe Sopa was found. You know this, right? Because you're in that crowd, in that lineage. He's 8 years old, very bright, very cheerful. So His Holiness himself rallied everyone to find him. So he's a good one. This will be a good one. Yangtze Rinpoche probably will train him. I don't know. Many others too. So that's the latest. I spoke to Nikki this morning. I tell everybody that, so he's in good shape. And writing his Sri Lanka speech.
So what?
His speech. He has to give a talk in Sri Lanka.
Oh.
Like, you know, the descent into Lanka Sutra, that's where that's... Sri was added later. So where we talked about in general, we finished the 7 limbs of puja, and they are. These, 7 limbs of puja you can do in a minute, just in your mind. These are things you should reflect on occasionally. And they consist of prostration, in other words, realizing who you're following now, mentally. The Buddha's Dharma, not a person actually. We're following the Dharma. The person delivers the Dharma, is the teacher. Offering, you mentally offer things. You go to the supermarket, you go to the nice big box stores, 2 seconds. I offer all of this for all sentient beings. They all have all these things, just to make descend. And I take this store and I blast it out to all the universe. May everybody in all worlds always think big. What are you doing then? You're creating the causes for you to be a Buddha that automatically acts that way. It doesn't have to think anymore. That's the root of that. Everything is cause and effect. So just you mentally imagining these things causes you, many years later, or maybe next week, I don't know, when you're a Buddha, to be able to bring whatever people need to them, to be able to go anywhere that that thought can go, things like that. That has to be built up. It just doesn't happen, excuse me, I need the coffee. It doesn't happen automatically. It happens as a result of all these wishing prayers that Buddhas did when they were bodhisattvas. That's it. May I be able to be understood by everyone. I want to help everyone no matter where they are. Even animals, even hell beings. May I be able to emanate bodies there. That's cause. That's not just, I think I'll go there. No. It's cause and it's out of their control. Their compassionate intention takes over. We want to do something, I got to go, okay, I'll give them this, I'll go there, I'll do this. We have to conceptually motivate ourselves, not the Buddhas. Like that. A need, they're there. So that's offerings, confession. You just look into your mind, see whether you're happy with what you thought about or not. That's all. If you want to do it big, you can sit down, make offerings, do this and that. But some of us don't have time to even breathe. We're always running around. So these things go off in your mind like that. Rejoicing, I'm glad I found Buddhism, etc. and so forth. Ask the Buddhists to teach, please. I need information, whoever you are in whatever form. Sometimes ordinary people, maybe Buddhas. You don't know. I asked Rinpoche, what would Buddha look like? He'd probably wear a business suit, he said. Oh no. He always came out with a fast remark like that. But ask them to remain. Please stay. Buddha would have lived longer, but Ananda never asked him to remain. So he cut it off at 80 or 81, whatever. That's brought up in Islam Rim, and I've seen it before. So it's very important. And dedicate. Dedicating. It's like locking up the merit in the bank, nobody can get it, And not taxable by city, state, or federal. I don't know. Beautiful taxes, we're going to have them, yes. So that's the 7 limbs of puja. When we use Yangtze Rinpoche from page 70, we should also remember to rejoice in our virtuous activities. Whenever you do something good, pat yourself on the back mentally without going crazy. That's good. That's a nice, happy feeling in your mind. That's an imprint that will bear results. Better than saying, oh, I should have done more, or this or that. No, I did what I could. That's it. Next. Next thought, right behind this one. So you're managing your mind more. You're not being pushed here and there. You have a program, and you're watching your mind. Your awareness alone, which is the whole show, that cleans things, that purifies things. That's like a big, what's that light that purifies doctors' offices? Was it Blu-ray light or something? There's some light, ultraviolet, UV light. So it's like those good thoughts do that. Get rid of bad karma that way. So, my dentist has it. You get a tan when you're in there. So if you want to know how you were in the past, is it hard for you to do Buddhist practice now? You need to purify more. If you do Buddhist practice and you get very tired quickly, you need to purify more. So don't be elaborate. Just about yourself a mantra or something, or do the mantra you're always habituated to and say, I'm using this to cleanse or whatever. That's important. You find it very easy to go to sleep or very easy to go out with your friends and party on. That's what's in your mental continuum. That's an indication you got to somehow clean house. That means you're dull? No, it means you're more cheerful because your mind is more spacious. You're not bogged down by all these bad impulses of the past. So that's that. As ordinary beings, we practice rejoicing, he's saying, by merely admiring and feeling happy about the activities of others. I'm so happy His Holiness Dalai Lama is alive. Look what he does. Look how cheerful he is. Look how he breaks moods when you listen to him for a few minutes. This is good. We like this. Your approval puts a good energy into your mind. Those are the elements. So I'll give you the summary of it quickly from page 74 of this, so I'm always worried about the time. First limb of prostration, paying homage with our body, speech, and mind, is an antidote to our sense of self-importance and pride. The limb of offering is an antidote to our tendency towards miserliness. That's why we offer. And again, you do that mentally. You don't own all the money in the banks. You don't own all the stuff in Costco or wherever you go. however you do in a way. Because everything in this world is a result of collective karma of everybody that's here. So everything that's here somehow, we have stocks in these places. We have a piece of the action that way. So it's legitimate to offer everything within your mental vision and your eye vision, your regular physical vision. It's not far-fetched. That's how things got here. They weren't already there and we're here. That's an emptiness influence right there. Thinking that's there and we're not part of it. No. The limb of confession is purification, an antidote to all delusion. The limb of rejoicing, an antidote to jealousy. The more you rejoice in others' good deeds, the less you'll find your jealousy coming up. Again, Buddhism doesn't say, I gotta not be jealous, I gotta not be jealous, I gotta not be jealous. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I admire what that guy did. I admire these people. Look at how hard they work. Look at these mothers bringing their kids to school and then running to work and then running back. I admire that. That takes away jealousy. You'll find less jealous thoughts showing up and annoying you and keeping you awake at night. It's nothing like jealousy to keep you awake at night. I prescribe it. The limb of requesting Buddhists to turn the wheel of Dharma purifies negative karma that we have accumulated in relation to the Dharma, such as abandoning the Dharma. The limb of requesting the long life of our spiritual teacher purifies all of our negative karmic actions in relation to those beings. The limb of dedication, we know it protects our merit. And the old story is, how does that work? If you dedicate everything to bodhicitta, how does it keep it from being spoiled by anger, etc.? The simple thing, you heard it before. A cup of water in the sun evaporates. A cup of water thrown in the ocean lasts forever. That's it. So that's the, if you can't get your mind around this, most people say, it's like putting it in the bank. And then people get suspicious of banks these days. That's the idea, though. You meld it with everything else. Okay, we don't want to do this. The three great purposes. The first great purpose, this is from page 75. I'm skipping because we don't have much time, but these are just highlights of it. To read the whole thing is very nice, and probably Wednesday night we'll read more. But three great purposes, he said, and I'll quote it from the book directly rather than my stupid handwriting here. My old man handwriting. Yay! No, it's too long. I'll take it from here. It's a quick précis. Three great purposes. First, the great purpose is the removal of all obstacles and obscurations from the mind. Not the outer world, from the mind. Because that's all we can affect, our own minds. Can't affect the outer world that much. So that's when all these obstacles from the mind, from the initial lack of guru devotion up to the subtle dualistic view. The second subtle dualistic view. What's the subtle dualistic view? Subject and object and not separate. Subject and object, one. Hard to understand that. Let's try and put that in. Dualism in the state, when you realize emptiness directly, of course, there's no appearance of things. But then when you come out, you sort of realize, wait a minute, what I'm seeing here is a lot of projection. That's not what there's something, there's more of a connection. And slowly, deeper and deeper, your realization of emptiness until you're a Buddha, simultaneously see conventional and ultimate truth. But this is the start of all that. There's a lot there. You should never be bored once you study Buddhism a little. The second great purpose is to be able to generate all the realizations of the path from the pure mind of guru devotion up to realizing the unmistaken view of selflessness. Guru devotion was big, and this is an older book. Now we're told, don't mention that, nobody likes. So guru devotion is something that doesn't seem to fit in with our society because they take it wrong. They think it's slavery, they think it's, the master does. Now, that's later on when you're a very high student. Then there's tight guru devotion because they have to be very intimate with you to give you exact practices and then change them in this, and they have to know you well. It was the culture in these, the culture like as soon as the guru comes in, everybody bows down and does that. People don't like that here. They don't like to see prostrations to a human. So it's minimalized. People don't like Jingwisa. So again, you conform to the needs of the people. What do we have in terms of time? Conform to the needs of time. We got 10 minutes, okay. And the third is to be free of all hindrances, to accomplish this total pacification of all obstacles, to do that. So that's that. We won't do this. Let's see. There's a prayer for the. Let's see, we won't have it here. Prayer for the great purpose. The great purpose. No, it's too long. We can't do it now. All right. Anyway, I invite you to go to page 75, 76, 77. Let's see what we can do. This is the prayer of the great purpose. This is on page 75. Very simple. Sounds like a regular prayer, and it is. I take refuge in three precious gems and my spiritual teacher, and I make this request. Send forth to me waves of inspiring strength. Inspire me and all mother beings. Again, everyone is your concern. Inspire me and all mother beings to bring an end to all distorted states of mind. From showing precious gurus the slightest disrespect, through insisting that we ourselves are truly different from all others. I'm unique, right? Send forth to us waves of inspiring strength to develop most quickly all true states of mind that especially include showing gurus respect. Send forth to me waves of inspiring strength to clear away outer and inner hindrances to our practice of the Dharma. And he quotes, Yangtze Rinpoche says, to summarize the three great purposes, the first great purpose is the removal of all obstacles and obscurations from the mind, from the initial lack of guru devotion up to the subtle dualistic view. We had this before. It's very important. The second great purpose is to be able to generate all the realizations of the path from the pure mind of guru devotion up to realizing unmistaken view of selflessness. And the third is to be free of all hindrances to accomplish the total pacification of all obstacles. You're advanced spiritually and you can do that. This prayer is also known as the request of the Four Noble Truths. Lacking guru devotion at the beginning of the path, up to and including all mistaken views, shows the first two truths, the cause of suffering and the resultant suffering directly, and the resultant suffering indirectly. Cause and suffering, those two things. Truth of suffering, cause of suffering. The first request is for pacification, true suffering, and the true cause of suffering. The second request, that we may be able to practice pure guru devotion and generate every realization up to the unmistaken view of selflessness, is a request for the realization of the true path. The truth of cessation is shown indirectly. So all the four things are in that. Why didn't Buddha put them in order? Why didn't he put cause of suffering, suffering? The path and the result of the path. He did it opposite. He didn't put cause of suffering, he put suffering first. And the way they explain is that you had a terrible headache. You feel terrible. Think of the Buddha as the doctor, right? So you bring yourself to the doctor. The cause of suffering caused you to come out of your normal way of being, I got to do something. This is like awakening up to the true nature of life in samsara. Oh, this isn't great. So you go to find out, and the doctor looks at you and says, Doc, you got to help me, blah, you're going crazy. Shut up. Aha, I found it. You have a terrible sinus infection. Cause of the suffering. So then the first question is, can I get rid of it? Truth of the goal. Okay? Yen, the goal. And the doctor says, yeah, you got to take these antibiotics, you got to drink water and get some rest. The path to getting rid of the suffering. That's why it's in that order. So you don't do anything until you feel rotten. And then you do something. Otherwise you just float along. So when you wake up to the fact that things aren't perfect, even though sometimes they imagine they are, you seek answers. and you sincerely ask, and they'll tell you, yeah, you don't have to be this way. This is not a permanent illness. Your mental illness will end. We can end it. How? Practice this, practice that. And you will be in a place where there's no more suffering. That's it. So that's why that order exists. They don't mention that much in the Tibetan Buddhism, but that's all they mention in the Theravada system. That's how they introduce the Four Noble Truths. You're going for help for something. It makes sense. And then the order makes sense. So the Buddha's realistic. He works from reality. So, reality is, who died? Do we have any names? No names, okay. So there are so many people who are suffering. Darfur, Gaza, we can go on and on. There's not a place in the world, if you spin the globe, where there's no confusion and violence, etc., on different degrees. So it's samsara, and we need to go to the doctor to get rid of it. I prostrate to this Sutra Recollection of Noble Three Jewels. I prostrate to the Omniscient One. Thus the Buddha, Bhagavat, Tathagata, Arahat, Samyak Sang Buddha, the learned and virtuous one, the Sugata, the knower of the world, the charioteer and tamer of beings, the unsurpassable one, the teacher of devas and humans is the Buddha Bhagavat. The Tathagata is in accord with all merit. He does not waste the roots of virtue. He is completely ornamented with all patience. He is the basis of the treasures of merit. He is adorned with the minor marks. He blossoms with the flowers of the major marks. His activity is timely and appropriate. Seeing him, he is without disharmony. He brings true joy to those who long with faith. His knowledge cannot be overpowered. His strength cannot be challenged. He is the teacher of all sentient beings. He is the father of bodhisattvas. He is the king of the luminous. He is the guide of those who journey to the city of Brahma. He possesses immeasurable wisdom. He possesses inconceivable confidence. His speech is completely pure. His melody is pleasing. One never has enough of seeing him. His form is incomparable. He is not stained by the realm of desire. He is not stained by the realm of form. He is not affected by the formless realm. He is completely liberated from the suffering. He is completely and utterly liberated from the skandhas. He is not possessed with tattoos. His ayatanas are uncontrolled. He has completely cut the knots. He is completely liberated from extreme torment. He is liberated from begging. He has crossed over the river. He is perfected in all wisdoms. He abides in the wisdom of the Buddha Bhagavats, who abides in the past, present, and future. He does not abide in nirvana. He abides in ultimate perfection. He dwells in the womb where he sees all sentient beings. All these are perfect virtues of the greatness of the Buddha Bhagavat. The Holy Dhamma is good in the beginning, good in the middle, and good at the end. Its meaning is excellent. Its words are excellent. It is uncorrupted. It is completely perfect and completely purified. It completely purifies. The Bhagavat teaches the Dharma well. It brings complete vision. It is free from sickness. It is always timely. It directs one further. Seeing it fulfills one's purpose. It brings its remaining insight otherwise. The Dharma which is taught by the Bhagavat is revealed properly in the Vinaya. It is renunciation. It causes one to arrive at perfect enlightenment. It is without contradiction. It is pithy. It is trustworthy and puts an end to the journey. As for the son of the great Yama, they enter completely. They enter insightfully. They enter straightforwardly. They enter harmoniously. They are worthy of veneration with joying cause. They are worthy of receiving prostration. They are revealed with glorious merit. They are completely capable of receiving all gifts. They are an object of generosity. They are a great object of complete generosity. The protector who possesses great kindness, the omniscient teacher, the basis of oceans of merit and virtue. I prostrate to the Tathagata. prostrate respectfully and always to these three. The Buddha's virtues are inconceivable. The Dharma's virtues are inconceivable. The Sangha's virtues are inconceivable. Having faith in these inconceivables, therefore the fruitions are inconceivable. May they be born in a completely pure realm. So now, 8 verses for training the mind. Have you found it? You will find it. With the determination to accomplish the highest welfare of all sentient beings, who surpass even a wish-granting jewel, I will learn to hold them supremely dear. Whenever I associate with others, I will learn to think of myself as the lowest possible, and respectfully hold others to be supreme from the very depths of my heart. In all actions I will learn to search into my mind, and as soon as a disturbing emotion arises, endanger myself and others, I will firmly face and avert it. I will learn to cherish ill-natured beings, and those oppressed by strong misdeeds and sufferings, as if I had found a precious treasure difficult to find. When others have jealously treat me badly, with abuse, slander, and so on, I will learn to take all loss and offer the victory to them. When the one whom I have benefited with grateful, unreasonably persecute badly, I will learn to view that person as an excellent spiritual guide. In short, I will learn to offer to everyone without exception all help and happiness directly and indirectly, and respectfully take upon myself all harm and suffering of my heart. I will learn to keep all these practices undefiled by the stains of the 8 worldly concerns, and by understanding all phenomena as like illusions, be released from the bondage of attachment. And the prayer for swift return of Rato Chungla Rinpoche. He's 2 years old now. So this is exalted wisdom of all victors gathered in a drop. Sole refuge manifest in the form of the one wearing saffron robes. Guru Lozang Tubuang Dorje Chang, please bear witness here today that our prayers may be fulfilled. We beseech the great torch of doctrine, accomplishing from long ago the vast waves of aspirational prayers. Lord of speech, perfect Lozang's teachings, spreading them to the ends of the earth by means of explanation and practice. Thou holy in commitment, I will invite all these to be my guests in unsurpassed great awakening. Yet you have withdrawn the activities of the foreign body that serves the welfare of others. Is that worthy of the supreme harmonies of the Bodhisattvas? Though impossible for you to stick with existence and to abandon your commitment to the great all beings, we beseech the new son of Brahmanakaya, who swiftly returned from the realm of Dharmakaya, brought forth by Bodhicitta, drawn by 7 steeds. Having reached the far limits of scholarship, religious life, and goodness, please come swiftly as an unrivaled supreme emanation, full owner of the sage's teachings and wish-granting jewel. Return as the glory of Losang Tempe. Magnificent truth of the 3 precious jewels, Mahakala, Karmayama, and Sri Mata Devi, and the ocean of Dharma protectors, may you spontaneously fulfill our wish, the swift blossoming of the reincarnation's fresh moonlight face. This is the perfect place to develop one point in this. It's the quiet. It's just amazing. Yes, that's why we're nuts in this town. It's necessary. Thank you very much for your patient listening to my rapid speech, blah, blah, blah. The next Dharma talk will be 7 o'clock in South Orange, New Jersey at our parsonage. There will be no Tara this coming Saturday. It's an off Saturday. And don't forget to dedicate the merit showing up at class in the rain, listening to the noise, etc., so that we become Buddhas to help sentient beings. And beware Buddhas, we'll take care of those fire ants. We'll show them. There'll be no fires. There'll be